Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about a car stalling at an intersection. I'll be going over 3 possible causes of why a car can be stalling at an intersection. Now let me say this at the beginning of the video. These are not the only 3 possible causes, but they are 3 common causes that you should look into. And don't automatically assume that it's one of these causes. These are things that you should look into further to fully determine why your car is stalling at the intersection. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Common cause number 1 is the car needs new spark plugs or wires. Now you see, an engine requires a lot of things in order to actually run, and a spark is one of those things. Now the spark plugs actually create the spark, which makes sense because of their name. They're spark plugs, they create the spark. Now spark plug wires send the electrical power and signal for those spark plugs to create the spark. So with that being said, if your car needs new spark plugs or wires and they're not working properly, one or the other, then the engine is not going to get the spark that it needs in order to actually operate. And with that being said, if the engine doesn't get the spark that it needs, guess what? It's not going to be able to continue running, because the spark is necessary for the combustion in the engine to occur, and therefore without the spark the engine cannot run, and it will therefore begin to stall. All right, moving forward, possible cause number 2 that I want to discuss is a problem with the mass airflow sensor. Now the mass airflow sensor is a very common part on cars, simply because I should say this, it's a very commonly known about part on cars, because many people know about it or have heard about it, whether they are completely into the mechanics of cars or not. Now a mass airflow sensor lets your engine know how much fuel to use by determining how much air is entering into the engine, okay? Now, if there's a problem with the mass airflow sensor, it's going to be sending the wrong information to the engine about how much fuel to use. And with the engine not knowing the correct amount of fuel to use, it's going to use the wrong amount and proportion of fuel. And with the wrong amount or proportion of fuel, which is caused by a problem with the mass airflow sensor, the engine will have trouble continuing to run, and therefore it will stall. Now the good thing about the mass airflow sensor, or a problem with it, there is an upside, and the upside is simply that it doesn't necessarily need to be replaced. You might just have to clean it. So cleaning it is always an option, and I recommend cleaning it first, and then if the problem still persists and you know that it's because of the mass airflow sensor, then replace it. I always recommend cleaning a mass airflow sensor before you actually replace it, because it's simply worth it to try. Possible cause number 3, an idle air control valve that is malfunctioning. Now you see, the idle air control valve allows the perfect amount of air to enter the engine. Now remember, I said that there are a few things that are required in order for an engine to actually function properly and for an engine to run. Now, 3 of those main things that I spoke about in this video is a spark, fuel, and air. Now, like I said, the idle air control valve allows a certain amount of air, the perfect amount of air, to enter the engine. If the idle air control valve is malfunctioning, then, you know, it's gonna put the wrong amount of air, the wrong proportion of air into the engine, and therefore the engine's not gonna have what it needs in order to run effectively or run at all, and therefore it is likely going to stall. And that's basically it. In this video, I've gone over 3 possible causes of a car stalling at an intersection. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.